Welcome. This session is powered by Global Talent Solution, supported by leaders of all nations, Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs, Helping Hand Foundation, Explore London, Global International Alliance, Ladies of All Nation, Global Foundation, RM Infinite and Dream Bigger. Today's host is Dr. Jaya Sajnani, and the speakers are Dr. Patricia Gonde and Annette Dernick. Enjoy the session.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's session, which is the Power of Persuasion. Today, we are going to talk about that how this is Power of Persuasion actually going to help you to grow your business. It is one of our business success strategy session. Today, we have a wonderful two speakers, but before I go on the speakers, I would like to talk about that myself. I'm Dr. Jaya Sajnani. I'm a mom, entrepreneur, author, and founder, CEO of YG Travel. I'm a co-founder and CEO of GTS, which is Global Talent Solution Hub. GTS is a non-profit organization with a vision of paving the path to the future where talent knows no boundaries. Yes, you heard correct. We are dedicated to creating an environment where talent has no boundaries as we are a global organization. So I would like to express my biggest gratitude to our supporter for these sessions. Without them, this was not going to be possible. So the biggest supporter for our today's session is Loani, Ladies of All Nation International, which is now Leaders of All Nation International, founded by Dr. Caroline Makaka. We have another organization who is supporting us, GSFE, Global Society for Female Entrepreneur, which is again founded by Dr. Robbie Motor. Lady Dr. Robbie Motor says that we don't compete, we complete each other. And that is the motto I hold close to my heart as well when I work with the GTS. We have the third supporter, which is GIA, Global International Association, who help us to give the degree or reward to those people who are working in a humanitarian background. We have Dr. Randy, founder, who is supporting us today's session as well, who has also founded RM Infinitive and the Dream Bigger Institute in USA. So these are our supporters. So thank you so much for that. Before we start our today's session, as we said, that power of persuasion, today you're going to learn the strategy, how to pursue to the deal, to the communication for the business success. So I would like to request everyone to mute your session because we want to hear the speaker correctly. Now, while you are waiting for the moment, which is about to start, I am going to request our live viewers who are on our Facebook and Insta, who are watching us, please don't forget to drop a line saying hello. At the last episode, we had 400 live viewers, and I am hoping today is more because we have wonderful two guests today. So first one I would like to invite, which is Dr. Patricia Gonde. Dr. Patricia, welcome to the floor.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So let me introduce Dr. Patricia, who is wonderful human being before even addressing her any other accreditation. She's a wonderful human being, wonderful woman with a heart of gold. She has dedicated to revolutionary education and redefining education leadership. Wow, that is a fantastic, because we know that everyone is, if you want to grow your education industry, whichever sector, whichever country you are in. Once your industry of the education or learning grows, it automatically, the other factors will grow, bring the growth in your business as well. She is also founder of Heartfelt Teachers Network, empowers educators throughout empathy. She's founder of the Girls, Women Leading Our World, amplifier females voice globally. Wonderful. Patricia, just to remind everyone that you are from Zimbabwe. However, at the moment you are sitting in Australia, and it's I think it's 1 a.m. in the morning. What a dedication. Without failing to mention it, that Patricia also promotes digital literacy mentor and change maker, and she is recognized as a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert. Wow, well done, Patricia Gonde. You have achieved a lot. And our audience, and for me as well, please give us a insight of experience, years of experience you have, and the knowledge you have been gathering in the profession of the persuasion. Please give us your insight, and floor to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Jaya Sajnani, for giving me this opportunity. And I would like to say, first, start by saying, imagine that we are living in a world where our ideas that we have, they ignite the action, then our pitches close deals effortlessly, and then our teams are rallying behind our vision. And this is only done by persuasion, which is the art of influencing others. And it is also the key to unlocking this reality. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all viewers across the globe. My name is Dr. Patricia Gonde, and I am happy to be here today to be sharing with you to discuss the power of persuasion in the business world. And as we all know that persuasion is one of the most important tools we need in life. And if we imagine a world where our leaders can seamlessly mobilize teams, they enact change and create lasting impact through their sheer force of their vision and voice. And you can all agree with me today that this is the world where persuasive leaders thrive. I am going to share my screen with you today so that share my screen. Is it? Hey. So we are talking about persuasion. And when you are talking about persuasion, we know that without persuasion in our business circles, it's difficult for sometimes for us to have those deals that we need to do. And as we all know that persuasion itself, it's an art and it's also a science. And we have heard so much about persuasion. We've got people like Robert Cialdini. I don't know, some of you might be following him, talking about the 6 principles of persuasion, being reciprocity, commitment, social proof, authority, liking, and scarcity. So today I would like to take it from a different angle, whereby we see persuasion as a fundamental skill which all of us need for success in any organization, even our schools as well. I am an educator, and we see it as an art of convincing others to see your point of view, and whereby you need to take action to support. For example, our schools have got mission statements, they've got visions that we also have. So whether you are negotiating with a vendor, whether you're negotiating, inspiring your teachers, or engaging parents, persuasion is very essential, and it's a very important tool that we can use. So by honing our skills, our persuasive skills, we can significantly increase our chances of achieving our goals and creating a thriving learning environment, even a working environment. So to do this, we look at negotiation as a skill. And for example, giving myself as an educator, imagining myself, we having a parent and teacher conference where we need to discuss maybe a student's learning style of behavior. We need to have persuasive communication, which can help us find common ground, especially with the parent, and develop maybe a collaborative strategy to support the student's success. And this can also happen in a business sector. And have we ever faced these similar situations? For example, when we meet your clients, that you need to communicate, you need to persuade them to buy your products. And then we also need, in an organization, I'm going to look at securing these resources. And when you are securing resources, perhaps you have a vision. For example, I'm just going to give my examples in an education sector. Yes, we teach from 8 to 1 in Zimbabwe, but sometimes we need also to have some programs in the afternoon. For example, you think about an after-school program that will benefit your students. So for you to deliver a persuasive presentation, maybe you need to present to the school board, maybe you need to highlight the program's educational value and long-term impact. And increase your chances of securing the necessary funding and approval. You need to have those persuasive skills that are needed. And also with persuasive communication, it also allows us to motivate even our employees, even our teachers and staff. And so that when we are sharing our vision for the school and collaborate effectively to achieve our goals. For example, if I can pose a question, how can we use persuasive communication to inspire people in our organizations to implement maybe a new method? We need those skills for negotiation. We need those skills so that at least you'll be able to win the clients for you. Just like that, you need also to look at your public relations as well. And how do you solve crisis? Is it crisis management by crisis? So there is quite a lot for you to look at when you are looking at why persuasion matters in our business. Is it for client acquisition? Is it for leadership? Is it for team management? And then moving on to my next slide, I know that I don't have much time. I'm just going to look at the art of persuasion, whereby we are looking at influence. When I'm looking at influence, trust, and creating a win-win solution for everyone involved, it's not about manipulation, it's about influence. And when you are talking about persuasion, it is not about using our pressure, it is not using our trickery to get what we want. It's about understanding your audience needs and presenting your ideas in a way that resonates with them, especially. And when you are looking at trust, trust is key, especially as an art of persuasion, because people are more likely to be persuaded by someone whom they trust. And we need to build that trust by being honest ourselves, being reliable. And also we need to demonstrate genuine interest in their perspectives. And when you are looking at persuasion, when you are looking at communication, it's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street where effective persuasion is a conversation between two people, not a monologue. We need, by all means, to listen attentively to our audience concerns, and then after listening, actively. Remember I said active listening? And we need to tailor then our message to the audience. And if we are looking at the art of persuasion, sometimes we also focus on the benefits. People are more motivated by what it is in it for them. So when you are presenting your ideas, you need to highlight the benefits your audience will gain by accepting your proposal. Suppose you're in a board meeting, you want to sell your idea. What are the benefits the audience are going to get? And we are also looking at your passion for your ideas. How confident are you in selling your ideas? Sometimes you need to speak with confidence and enthusiasm to inspire your audience. So those are, we are looking at influence, we are looking at trust, we are looking at the way you communicate, and consistency. How are you consistent, especially with your customers? We have had so many people talking about consistency. For example, if you go to the doctors, do you get a card to remind you that you have to go for an appointment for the teeth? Consistency is needed. And moving on to my next slide, I know that I've got about 10 minutes to do this. I am looking at persuasion in action. What do we do? We have talked about the core principles of persuasion. We have talked about reciprocity. We have talked about authority. We have talked about those. But how do they translate into real world business situation? When you are looking at the pictures that are in front of us, I've talked about negotiation. Imagine that you are a salesperson who is negotiating a deal with a potential client. They love your product, yes, but the price that you have is a sticking point. How can you then use persuasion to bridge that gap? I don't know, maybe some of you can type in the chat section on the Facebook, what persuasion techniques could you use in that scenario? I think you need to highlight the long-term value from my own point of view. You don't need just to focus on the price tag. Explain how your product will save them their money in the long run, or you offer what we call a win-win situation. You propose a customized package or payment. So those are some of the things that would like to talk when you are negotiating. Instead of saying the price is, you can emphasize the value that they are getting for their investment. That's why I was talking about what benefits do the clients get. And when you are looking at my picture there on the scenario too, you are looking at what could you do to build trust. You can see that person is talking to people, trying to win their trust. What can you do to build the trust and convince the clients of your, maybe you are campaigning about something, of your campaign's effectiveness? You need to look at your results, present the data, the case studies. You need also to understand their points. You need to understand your audience. You need to actively listen to their past experiences and tailor, especially your pitch, to address those specific concerns. Or you tell a compelling story. You share stories. Storytelling connects with our clients emotionally, and you illustrate the positive impact, for example, if you are campaigning, that can have on the business. And then when you are looking at this picture here, we are seeing someone who is trying to win the audience. How can you, you are a departmental head, for example, how can you motivate your team to embrace a new software? How do you do it? Some team members are resistant to change. You know, with change management is difficult. How can you use persuasion to get everyone on board? From my own point of view, I think you need to be transparent, explain the reasoning behind the software change. Why are you using that idea? How it will benefit the team in the long run? And also you need also to focus on the positives, highlighting how the software will make their jobs easier, or you need to emphasize the team's role That's where framing comes in. Frame the adoption process in a collaboration. And then moving on to the next slide, that slide number 5, we are looking now at what we call persuasive communication. And in today's world, we try to get our messages across and understood. It can be a challenge, but we need not to fear. So by incorporating what we call persuasive communication techniques, we can increase our chances of capturing our audience's attention. If you look at this picture here of someone trying to persuade, one method that you can use is to know your audience. You need to understand your audience, what are their needs, what are their wants, what are their points, and then you try to tailor your message to resonate with them. And when you are speaking, are you speaking to a room full of experts or a group of potential customers? So using the right words, using the right jargon, and framing your message accordingly will make the difference. And you also need to look at the power of language. What language are you going to use? The words you choose matter. Strong verbs, vivid, so many, maybe you are looking at adjectives, clear, concise language that will capture the attention of the clients. And also we try by all means to make our message more impactful, and we need to avoid any jargon. And like I said before, you need to be confident. You need also to be enthusiastic. How is my time?
Hi, Dr. Patricia. Yes, you have already over your time, but I will allow you to do summary, please.
Or to summarize?
Please, thank you.
All right. So it is very important that we master persuasion techniques. For example, like I said, you need to know your audience. You need also to establish credibility and focus on your benefits. Try to use storytelling, especially when you're talking to your clients, to your audience, to the board of governors, and frame your message positively and use powerful language. Be confident and enthusiastic. And lastly, be an active listener when you are talking to your clients. Thank you so much. I know my time was very limited.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patricia. That is amazing. I am thrilled. Oh my God. We have 262 live viewers who are learning actually from you and your experience and the knowledge. The knowledge of the persuasion, anybody can get it from Google, but what you have shared today is your experience and how this knowledge can be practically applied. Hello, everyone. If you haven't taken down the notes, I am going to read through. Please do, or drop a line to us on the Facebook, and we will ensure that we will send you the presentation, today's presentation as well. So today, Dr. Patricia very nicely summarized that persuasion is an essential tool. It is an art of negotiation skills. Yes, and to do so, we do need, as per the Dr. Patricia, she mentioned that we need to learn how to influence people. We need to learn how to trust and create the trust, build the trust between those two parties. Communication has to be two ways, not just talking, but listening is very essential part. Consistency, yes, your message should be clear and consistent over and over again, so that people are fully aware about your objectives and mission and how you want to perceive. Then reciprocity and emotional appeal is very, very important. While you are putting your deal forward, or you are trying to negotiate your deal or persuading someone in a personal life or a business life, it is very important that you do create the trust. You build that environment where the opposite party do trust you what you are saying, and by saying so, it is the win-win situation. Create a win-win situation. When you are putting forward your proposal, don't just say that this is what proposal will do, but tell them that how this proposal, this service, this product will be benefit to their need, how they will, that product or service will solve their problem. Because today's world, yes, everyone, there are many people who wants to help you, but they want to see that is this exactly for me. There's a lots of competition out there, and to do so, this is a one of the best skills. Today, Dr. Patricia has explained us that how to use the persuasion skills. Now we have very amazing speakers. Don't go anywhere. I am going to call upon perfectly designed for this session only. Thank you so much, Annette Dernick. Welcome to the floor, Annette. Thank you so much for coming over and giving your time. Annette is logging in today from Germany. And if you please allow me, I would like to share some information. So Annette is renowned speaker, author, executive coach. She is a believer in the transformative power of love and peace, specializing in fostering harmonious environment within companies, expert in conflict resolution and team empowerment. Didn't I say that this person is going to share very valuable insights, same like Dr. Patricia, what she had explained us in education establishment as well. Annette is dedicated to enhancing productivity and driving profitability. She provides the insightful guidance for higher turnover and increased profit in your business. She also aims to cultivate culture of tranquility in the business, and her mission extends beyond boardroom to spread peace and harmony to all stakeholders. So here you come. Welcome, Annette Dernick. Thank you so much. Floor is yours.
Also, thank you very much for your very, very warm welcome. It's so great to be here. Yeah, and I agree to many things that you've said, and also that you, Patricia, that you already mentioned in your contribution. Thank you very much for this. I would like to put the emphasis on, let's say, a little bit different aspect. So some time ago, I was interested in a certain program. And I had watched some videos, and then I had a call with the people offering this program. And during this call, I said, oh yeah, this sounds quite interesting. I can imagine to be part of this program. And the person on the other end of the line told me that I had to do the first payment during our conversation. And I thought, okay, that's not what I understand with being persuaded. Somehow I felt a little bit, let's say, driven to really sign the contract. I said, oh no, I don't want to do it. So my emphasis now or today will be to distinguish a little bit also between persuasion and conviction, because for me, it's so important what both of you already mentioned, to have trust and to really listen to what the other person says. As you've already introduced me so well, I'm Annette Dernick, speaker, coach, and author. And you can see one of my books in the background. It is the book published by Marie Diamond, Global Conscious Entrepreneur Leading the World. And I was very, very happy and honored that I could make a contribution to this book. And this contribution was called Peace Creates Values. So I've been working in the corporate world as long as I can think of, even though as a coach, I've been working in different settings, also in NGOs. So I have already been in a lot of places to talk about communication, persuasion, and also conviction. So when you want to sell your product, your service, it is really very important to be prepared, to think which is your target group, and to also think about the language your target group is talking. if you speak the language of your target group, then it will be much easier to connect and to be prepared. It can be a good idea to have a look on different social media channels like Facebook, like LinkedIn, to get better known to your target group and to read their posts so that you will know their language. This is already the next point as well. Do some research. Who might be interested in your product? Maybe you will find some posts of people who are already seeking what you're offering. And the better you know what you are offering, the better, the easier it will be to find your target group. If you say, I'm a coach, I'm offering coaching, this is a much too big target group. But when, for example, I say, oh, I'm very much interested in coaching spiritual women, then the target group is much smaller. And so it's always good to do some research if there is the target group that you want to address and how you should contact them. And the third thing is really know your product. I very often have the experience when I come to a store and then it's more about, let's say, maybe a product like a dishwasher, something like this, that people know something about the product, but they do not know the, let's say, the most important things. And sometimes I have the impression that they know what is kind of written on the sign on the product. So it's really important that you can answer the questions of your customers, that you really know your product. And related to your product are your terms and your prices. So what is the price? And I'm now talking about a service. How do you charge your customers? Is it for 1 hour? Is it what we now call a complete package? Not only with, for example, coachings or advice. Maybe you are offering something on top. So, for example, a group that meets on a regular basis, and then the price might be another one. You see the lorry, and this stands for the term of delivery. So this applies to where you are going to see your customers. Will it be online? Will it be offline? Or is it, if it's a product that can be touched, how are you going to send it? Do you have certain ways how to distribute your product? And it's also very important to already have this calculated in your price. So, for example, if you are a coach, it makes a huge difference if you are coaching online or if you're going to see a customer. It takes some time and it also takes some money to see your customer. So is this included in your price or not? And it's always good to have a clear idea. And at the beginning, I know how it is. At the beginning, it seems a little bit strange. Then just put something at the side, some notes from yours, so that you can have a short glance on your notes to know your prices and your terms and your conditions. During the sales process, I agree completely with you, what you already said, it's really ask questions and then listen. There are so many salespeople that I know who are talking and talking and talking and talking, and they think, oh, when I'm talking enough, then I'll persuade my customer. It's much better to ask questions, and even in case that you realize that your product isn't the right product for a customer, maybe you can offer him something else. Or maybe you know a colleague who has exactly the product that he or she needs. And this is exactly what is so important, especially in these days when we are in a big shift and a big phase of transformation. To know that you can trust the person and that it's not that the person is looking only to the money that you're going to give the person, but that the salesperson really is interested in you as a customer. So it's about seek first to understand, then to be understood. That's a quote of Stephen Covey. And I like this quote very much because this is really for me what is so important in the sales process. And what I'm also very fond about, and now it will be maybe a little bit funny here on the screen because this always appears when I'm doing that's heart-to-heart communication. So each of us has the same, maybe value is an interesting word, but that's really what I mean. It's not that one person is better and the other is not. So even if you are a very experienced coach and you're talking, or salesperson, and you're talking to a person who has less experience, it's really important to connect with the heart, to really feel what your customer needs and what he or she is longing to. Maybe you've already heard of the Heart Math Institute in the United States, and they say that our heart is so important in all our decisions. It's not only the brain. There is a connection between brain and heart. And if I'm really connecting to somebody on the heart level, then I will not try to urge him to buy my service or my product. Then I'm really connected on such a level that the well-being of the person I'm talking to, that this is really what counts for me. Not the quick sale and the quick cash. It's more a long relationship. And maybe I will not make the contract today, but if I really talk on such a heart-to-heart basis, then maybe the person will come back to me later on with another product. So this was during the sales. There are also some important steps after the process. The first is, if you have agreed to send some information, be accountable and send the information as soon as possible. It's also advisable to have this information already prepared before you start your sales, so that you can send this information immediately. Be reliable. If you have agreed a follow-up conversation, take notes and mark the next appointment in your calendar. And please also take notes so that you know what you've been talking about, so that you can relate to everything that you've been talking about in your first sales conversation. And the next one is really do a follow-up. And sometimes, yeah, I know it's not that easy, because sometimes people do not agree at first time, but then maybe it doesn't have to be a phone call. It's possible that you'll send an email. It's possible that you will do a follow-up via LinkedIn. And for me, it's always important to do a nice follow-up. So how are you doing? Is there anything I can do for you? And this is for me a very important message, to be at service and to already answer question of my customer before he or she has bought, and to already be of service to him or to her. So I'll leave it with the question to persuade or to convince. And I think everybody has to decide for him or herself. In any case, I wish you great sales, and that you always find the customers that really connect to you and to whom you connect. Thank you very much for having me here. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Annette. Oh my God, that was wonderful wisdom of the words which you share with us. So we had at the point 356 live viewers who were taking down the notes, I believe. And if not, I have learned a lot today's session. As we heard about from Dr. Patricia, what she has explained us, the practicality of when you are dealing with the negotiation or talking to the client or your personal relationship, how do you use that persuasion skills? Whereas here, Annette has explained us, before even starting that conversation of the persuasion or going into the deal, you do need to do your homework. It is very, very important. You need to do your research. You need to understand that who is your target group and what is the price you are offering. Is the price, is the value? What product? Is there any alternative product or service you can offer if your target group is not clear? If your target group is clear, then that's best, because you know exactly who you're offering and what are you offering, and that is the best. Half the battle you have won there, because you know what exactly issues or problem they're facing, where you are finding the solution for them in terms of your business. Then ask questions, because to understand someone, as very nicely Annette has explained us, that it is a great feeling to be understood and understand. Yes, I agree that, because it is very important that you do make them comfortable when you are dealing with a negotiation or the client or your personal relationship as well. You need to understand that the party is connected to you, because once you are connected, that means you are sharing the value, you sharing that platform, you created the bridge where you both can walk and come to the middle place, whether it's a personal or it's a professional relationship, or even it's your buy or sell of the product. Because remember, just selling the product is not enough. You need to make sure, very nicely our Annette has explained us, remember, give the information, then follow up. Follow up with that. Do they need more information? And if they don't need that product, they will come back to you later on if they are connected in the right platform. And that is from today's session from Annette. I am so thankful to Dr. Patricia and Annette. We have a quite good question on Facebook, and I can see we have a couple of questions from audience previously who has registered with us. So I'm going to throw one question, Dr. Patricia and Annette, whoever is ready to answer, please just jump in. No need of asking, just jump in and answer that. So the question is, what are some effective and powerful persuasion techniques that business can employ during the negotiations? Over to you.
So I know that there are, especially in negotiations, there are really different techniques that are told. And that's very many, a lot of persons who are in the purchasing department are really undergoing a very good preparation. And sometimes they also distribute roles. And one system can be the good guy and the bad guy, meaning that one person is always very nice and the other one is a little bit, let's say, reluctant. And so this is easier for the client to be confident with the good guy and not with the bad one. And I'm sure, Patricia, that you have a lot to contribute to this.
Sorry, you are muted, Doctor. If you can just unmute yourself. Perfect.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I would, especially when you're dealing with clients, I think the most effective way is to have maybe seeking a win-win solutions when you are negotiating. And you know that when you are negotiating in business, I think it's often beneficial to adopt a collaborative approach that focuses on finding the win-win solutions and understanding each other parties' interests, and then taking your time, not just the positions taken by each party, but also underlying interests driving those positions. And by understanding those interests of all parties involved, then I think you can be able to negotiate. And we also need prioritize, especially rapport and those long-term relationships that you have with your clients. And I think those are going to help you, especially to satisfy whatever they want to get from you. Thank you.
That's really great. Thank you so much, Dr. Patricia and Annette, for this question. We have on the Facebook, somebody has put the comment, Jamie Long is one of the very good listener. Majority of our session, he is always in, and today he's watching live. He has asked the question, what is the best way if there is a language barrier to persuade someone? Oh, that is so true, isn't it? Once we have a barrier of the language, how do we persuade someone?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Annette, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, because I've been working with a lot of international teams and I'm very fond of intercultural communication. So one possibility is to really have an interpreter. The other thing is today we have all these AIs And so maybe we can use an AI to do this. And at the same time, it's not about the language, or not the spoken language. It's also the body language. So it depends on how I'm sitting. I'm sitting like this, then my body language already tells you that I want to have the contract. If I'm sitting like this, and maybe if I'm sitting like this, and then I'm too far away. So especially in those situations when we do not understand the language of the other person, it's so important to watch how he or she behaves, and to already learn from the body language. And the best thing, in my opinion, is to have somebody with you whom you trust, not only an interpreter, because sometimes I've been working as an interpreter for my company as well, because and then it was I knew the language, but I didn't know the certain vocabulary, what it was about. If you really have a person that you can trust, then it's much less probable that there will be let's say a translation that will be misleading. So preparation, in my opinion, is the key.
Yes, I completely agree. Patricia, would you like to add on something, or shall we move on to another question?
I just wanted just to echo whatever she has said, especially when using an interpreter, and sometimes we need to use those visual aids. And we also need to look at the nonverbal communication. And nowadays, we also have translation tools, or sometimes they might also mislead us. But I think she has answered it very well.
Yeah, that's lovely. I mean, according to me, when I do the seminars in the different countries, and where I feel that not just the language, but sometimes the culture, sometimes the values, there are lots of other barriers which is very hard to win the negotiation. And for the business deal, you're dealing in the globally, you do need that, not just for your benefit, for the client benefit as well. So as Annette previously also mentioned, do some research. Jemmy, I hope you have got the answers, that we do need to do some homework and the research on the not just the product and service we are giving, but of course the people where persuasion is taking place or negotiation is taking place on those people and the group or companies. We do need to make sure that they understand the values and ethos we bring in, not just the product. And I'm sure, as many people said, language cannot be barrier, because people all are human and we understand the same humanity language. And if we talk from heart to heart, I'm sure they will understand that. So that brings us actually another question which was previously registered. Somebody has asked that this now, as we know that how the world is moving to the digital era, AI, as we touch base as well, Annette did mention it, and Dr. Patricia, that they are AI tools. So the next question is, how do you perceive the growth and evolution of the persuasion techniques in the digital and AI era? Wow, very interesting question. So anybody just show some your experience, insight, and dig it out with your mind, bulk of the knowledge, and throw some answers to us, please.
I would just like to say that when we are looking at the digital era, I think we can make use of, I know that I do that on when I'm using my social media, Facebook, making use of data analytics, data and analytics, maybe to tailor my communication and marketing messages, maybe to specific customer segments. For example, we do a lot of social media advertising, and this is based maybe on the customer demographics that we have. So we can also make use of that. And I know that some of the experts in persuasion have talked about social proof and also online reputation, because we know that our consumers, they rely heavily on online reviews and recommendations. So this can also be used. I know that we have got so many things online. We make use of feedback. We make use of their recommendations. And then we can tailor make to suit that, so that whenever we are making products, or whenever when we are wanting to sell products, we can improve on what we have from the reviews that we get online. So you can make use of the digital era in so many ways.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, Patricia. Annette, would you like to add something?
I completely agree with you, Patricia. And so what you mentioned, for me, those are the positive aspects. In my opinion, there's also an aspect that we should bear in mind that isn't that nice, but nevertheless, I want to mention it. So some weeks ago, I've attended a conference that was called Human Firewall Conference. And it was about how to react if you receive a phishing attack. So this can be an email, it can be an audio message, it can be a video message. And it's possible that the sender, or the person who's speaking, or that you see in the video, that he or she looks really like your boss or writes like your boss. And it's so important, and that's what they mentioned, that the best thing, or how it is the best reaction is to have trust in the company. So if you as an employee receive such a video, such an email, such an audio message, and then you should give away some secret information, or you should transfer a certain amount of money, it's always very important to contact the person who should have sent it, and to really ask, oh, did you send it? And then it's so important that the boss really tells the person, oh, it's good that we are talking about it. If we have bosses, as I know them when I started to work many years ago, it was more that the boss kind of was always right. And if we have still this culture, then it's much more probable that phishing attacks will be successful. And I'm always putting the emphasis on the positive things. So if you really have a culture of trust, of appreciation, of peacefulness, then it's really the best to kind of not to be the victim of such an attack.
Wow, that is very different perspective of actually digital era. That is, and it's true as well, because sometimes it does happen that technology is obviously blessings, but sometimes you do find it's a curse when it's not being used appropriately or used by hackers or other people. So the answer we heard from the Dr. Patricia and the Annette, both sides of the story, that yes, it is very useful. You create the data. Nowadays, as the negotiation starts, you don't just talk on the emotional level, but you do put some facts, and the facts comes from the AI. Create some data, give them some ratio, or show from your social media that how many target group you have, and what's the feedback they are getting, the reviews, and this all come under the AI. However, by doing so, don't forget, this can be built up forgedly as well. Many companies do that. Wrong followers, and that's not organic followers or organic your people. So you need to understand that how the digital is digital media, or you can say the AI tool, is a blessings but curse as well. So be cautious as well in the same time while doing it. Our time is up. Unfortunately, we cannot discuss more, but I cannot believe that we had such an amazing session. Both speakers, Dr. Patricia and Annette Dernick, the powerful, wonderful woman of heart, and they have years of knowledge and insight of the industry, in the business, whichever field sector they come from. But when it comes to negotiation, it comes to persuasion, it is the same, that talk with the facts, but connect to the parties. Now, don't forget to attend next session, which is Thursday, 25th of April, 2024, at the same time, 4 p.m. which is the fourth episode. We are going to talk about the business success strategy. And the fourth episode is innovative thinking, which will tell you or show you how to navigate the business growth through innovations. So today we have learned all about the negotiation skill, persuasion skills, and whether the persuasion is different than convincing or not. So next week we are going to learn about innovation strategy. So don't forget to tune in next week. Here we go. Thank you so much, and sayonara, attending, joining, wherever you are from. Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to catch our next session live on 25th April 2024.